I need to tell you that I just pushed record.
Okay. Oh, well.
Tell me about the wild year.
It's just been really busy. I mean, we had two graduations, high school, college, and a grandbaby, all in less than a month, and
Yeah.
so now I'm getting,
Graduations,
yeah, I know,
grandbabies.
a bit crazy, and then just a lot of work stuff combined, and now we're headed. We were comparing calendars last night, and we're moving my youngest one off to a gap year program that she's doing in between high school and college, and then my middle one's going to grad school in Dallas. And so it's kind of like you think that it's over with the chaos of the two graduations, and all of a sudden we've got to move two people, one to Colorado, one to Dallas. We still got
Wow.
the anyway, so it's not
It's
over
never
yet.
ending, and it's never ending.
It's got
FYI.
to be.
No,
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. My crazy doesn't compare to your crazy, so but things are good. Should we not do an intro? Since it's going to be out there, since this is going to be the video, I just want to say quickly, this is the Fat to Fit HQ podcast, episode 125, and I will record when we do the audio. I'll record the intro for the podcast, but this is just the video, the unedited video that we use to get our audio, and we throw it up on YouTube for anybody who wants to watch. But things are going great. Thank you for asking. I finished my master's this week,
You
and
finished it.
I will. I've got this one
Uh,
week left. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It seems like it just started yesterday for
Like
those of us who've
for those who didn't have to do it, right?
yeah.
For those of us that remember you saying you were going to do your master's, holy crud. It's been 18 months and it was pretty brutal, but totally doable for anybody who is interested in getting, another degree. Or even when I got my first degree, my bachelor's, I went back. I was in my late 20s. I was never a good student when I was in school, so I didn't think I could do that. And you can totally do it. There's all kinds of help to get you caught up, and then you're on your way. So I would encourage anybody who's interested in going back to get any kind of certification or anything. If Carol can do it, you can do it.
So it's awesome.
Yes.
So that means you get an immediate raise now? Is that what
Tiny.
happens?
Tiny, very tiny. They do. Our district does differentiate between a bachelor's and a master's, but it's like you wouldn't feel it in your paycheck at all at the end of the day. It's really not about that. It's about we just value education. There was a lot that I learned. I got a principal certification along the way, and so it's going to help me work with principals better. And it was a good thing. It was a good thing. I have another certification I'm working on. It's a writing certification. That's pretty heavy too, and I'm only halfway through that. But it's good learning, man.
So what are you going to do with what are you going to do with all your free time?
Right. I'm gonna get back on the bandwagon with this whole health and fit. I might work out.
And I don't even know what that is anymore. I am it's really discouraging, Carol. I'm in a bad place.
Oh no.
This timing it's actually good timing because there's nothing like a little public humiliation and accountability to get you motivated, but I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. And that's hard for me to say because I was on fire for a long time, and the combination of the schedule and party after party after party after next week after I'll do it next week, I'll do it next week, and then I really got busy at work. And I got to tell you, my as you know, I'm a podcast junkie, and it really is what keeps me motivated because I can, when I would walk or when I would exercise, I would listen to the people that I would listen to, and they were my friends. They were the people that kind of helped me be, because not everyone else in my world was interested in what I was doing all the time. Shelly was trying what she was trying. Work, no one really even knew what I was doing other than I had lost some weight. And then the kids, of course, are they think that I've thrown away all the good food in the house, and Um, and so my only friends are, my friend Abel and Ben and,
Your
and,
imaginary friends, your
and and and
imaginary.
and Mark and all these guys who don't know,
Yeah,
and Vinny and all these people who don't have
yeah.
a clue who I am, but at least they're my friends when I would put on the headset. And I didn't have time to even listen to podcasts anymore because I
Oh
was
no.
literally going wide open between personal commitments, and then work has been really, really crazy in a good way, but just really, really busy. And I've had no, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And it's been pretty discouraging. And what's interesting is I have seen it in the way I feel
Yeah.
and in the way clothes are, but the scale hasn't really shown it that much. In other words, it's a good, in other words, it's really the reverse of the whole scale thing. You know how everybody says, put the
Yes.
scale away, put the scale away. Well, I was actually using it in the reverse. Pants would fit tighter, and I would say, oh, well, the scale still says, 198 or 197 or whatever, and so it can't be that bad, but they were clearly tighter, so there was a
Wow.
composition thing taking place. And
So you,
anyway,
you think
I
you were
haven't.
losing you think you were losing muscle mass and just like making up for that with not muscle, like fat,
Hmm,
and so the weight's not changing, but your body composition is changing. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I don't know. I
I mean,
think I
like me
think that
breaking it down like that. That's what's
yeah, I
happening over
think it,
here.
yeah,
FYI.
I think it's just gravity. And
How can we be blamed for the laws of science, right? I mean,
I think it's a combination of just gravity. And I had stopped, any sort of walking. And for me, I never was a workout fiend anyway, but I was, at least nothing else, I was a walker and I was sprinting. And I think it was, the combination of really not doing either has taken its toll. And I kind of started back up. I've been doing, I'm in a kind of a walking challenge at work, and I
nice.
actually I got a notification today that we're in second place. And and I've been doing pretty good, 10 and 14,000 steps a day, but it just feels a whole lot more like work than it did when I was in the zone. I mean, I used to just
Yeah.
not miss it, and now I'm like, tomorrow, 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 and
Yeah.
then it's not a good, and I really can't figure out what it is. Because I really haven't fallen off the wagon relative to carb intake at all. I would tell you my carb
Really?
intake is, no, it's pretty low still. Um, what's really been nuts, I think I think I showed you one time those, and you said you use them too, those little packets of almond butter,
Yes, I
you know?
use them too much.
Right. So, well,
Yeah.
I knew it was trouble when I graduated from the packets to the jar.
Oh no. The tub. Why don't you just make it at the tub?
The tub, because at least the package are portion controlled, whereas the tub is limited to, the how many shovels full you can get with a spoon into your mouth. And anyway, so
Goodness.
I think I've got an issue with a combination of the overconsumption of nut butters and nuts and dairy. I think that's really
Yeah.
what's doing it, and that combined with not exercising, because I'm really not eating that many more carbs. I
Well,
mean, I'm
you're
really not.
probably fine. I don't understand. If the scale's not moving, your clothes are just a little bit tighter, which could just be, inflammation, and your carb intake isn't changing. It hasn't changed from when you lost all that weight. So, is it more just a psychological thing? You don't feel good, and you feel
No, I think
fat,
it. I
but you're
no.
probably not fat.
There's no doubt that composition is changing, and that this is not. I mean, I can tell it's more than just a little snug here. I'm not into a new set of clothes yet. I'm not moving
Well,
up. Like, I'm not going up in the attic breaking out the clothes that
those
I
clothes I
packed
told
up
you to
there.
throw away last year.
But it does. It's just not. I just feel like I'm. I don't want to get psychological, but it feels really kind of self-destructive right now. I feel
Yeah.
like it's like I'm really in this mode of, I don't know. And then, and I don't want to blame. There's really, there's plenty of things to blame, right? There's a combination of the pace that's been going on. There's a combination of a little bit of fatigue, and just, this being, it's the fat, a bit of a fad element. Like, is this a fad that's run its course,
Oh,
you
you're
know?
always scared of that, Jack. You're always
Yeah.
scared that the old Jack is coming back and this
Yeah.
was just
I'm
a
gonna,
temporary vacation from 75 pounds ago.
I know.
And it's not. This is you now. I mean, clearly it's Shelley's fault and the girls, clearly.
Absolutely. Well, that goes without saying.
I hope she doesn't listen.
No,
So
she's been trying and doing a lot of things, and
awesome.
I would say that we're, there's a lot of things that are gone from our house. I would argue I mean, forever's a long time, but I would say that there's certain things that have been gone for a really, really long time. And of course, with the youngest, who was the only one that was really complaining about the lack of cereal and chips and
Yeah.
mac and cheese and all the trash that we used to keep in the house, there's almost no excuse. Once the youngest is gone, and she even, it's kind of funny because she's actually pretty lean, and she got invited to go with a friend to the lake or to the river. I think they're going to New Braunfels or something, and she's all paranoid over a wearing a bathing suit.
Oh
And of
my
course,
God.
she asked me, and I'm like, no sugars, no grains, no sugars, no grains.
I
I'm kind
know,
of
I
the
know.
parroting Vinnie Tortorich, and of course, it doesn't work in 24 hours. That's the problem
I need
because
to go this weekend to being in New
I'm
Braunfels.
leaving. Right.
Right.
And so what can I do to get rid of, I'm not, and of course, Shelly and I look at her and we're like, we don't really see it. In other words, she's not heavy by any stretch of the imagination, but she's
Right.
concerned because she doesn't look like a magazine cover, and that's
Wow.
unfair.
I
I think that's just kind
know.
of an unfair expectation.
Even the magazine covers don't look like the magazine covers. They'll tell you that's airbrushed and a bunch of stuff that's not reality. They like go to all kinds of lengths for the shoot and then they get back to real life. A lot of the actors say that about the
Oh
roles,
yeah.
that they play in movies and stuff. So if we really do a number on ourselves, I know because I'm right there with her. It's like you're constantly comparing yourself. But what's interesting is no sugars, no grains. It really does kind of have an effect after just a couple of days, and it's not a permanent, lasting effect. But you drop water weight because carbs hold so much water, and it can make you feel better and even fit into things better because you don't have the inflammation or the water weight or whatever. So I don't know.
Right.
I would argue it might work to some degree to get your bathing suit
I
ready.
was actually thinking about, like, the last time I did a whole 30, which I did a whole 31 or 33 or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Uh, um, uh, but I didn't do any corresponding workouts at the same time. I just kind of did it. And I never even, and the bad news was, I don't know if you remember, but day 31, I was on the road and I didn't
Yes.
get back. I don't think I got back until like what would have been day 36. And so I never got to get on a scale after 30 days to see what the impact was.
I was
All the,
telling you to wait because you'll
I
never
couldn't,
know.
I know.
You
So
kidding?
now so I was literally contemplating July 1st, because my sister's been toying with the idea of Whole 30. And I said, I'll do it with you, just kind of
Oh,
like
you
another
will?
reason to do it. And I said, when are you starting? And she's like, July 1st. And I'm looking at my 4th of July calendar with the parties and this and that. And I'm thinking, Monday, I'll start Monday,
But Jack, you were the master at this for years, right? And at least 2 years, right?
I'm
You
such a
could.
hypocrite. No, I was good in the
No.
moment, man.
I'm
I could
telling you,
preach it
you
up.
would go to parties, you went to weddings. My friends who are doing a whole 30 right now, they came upon a dilemma at day 13 that they were going to a wedding and you can't control the menu at a wedding. So they brainstormed because they were feeling so good by day 13. They were totally new to this. By day 13, they were like, we're never going to cook the same again. But they had this dilemma of the wedding, but they just ate heavy before they went. They took a few things in their pockets, surely something on that plate you can eat. And yeah, you might have a packet of almond butter in your pocket or something, or some nuts or something like that, because the wedding's only this many hours. And if you eat heavy before and you can eat on your way home, you can
Right.
totally do 4th of July. You know
Yeah.
you can. Yeah, but do I want to? That's the.
Yeah, it has more to do with the want to. But how have you been doing on this whole thing? You said your Facebook post said something
No,
about
let's keep talking about you.
fighting your way to the gym for a workout or whatever.
Why is
So
my
what's how
screen elongated? Doesn't it look wide? Doesn't it
it
look wide?
does?
I don't need my image wider right now. It's the opposite of what I need. I'm very upset about this.
It's the
Okay.
fisheye effect. I don't know
I
why.
know why. I don't want this. Anyway, thank goodness most people are just listeners. So anyway, um okay, so I did a you know what I've found is that I'm not doing another whole 30, another whole 30. I'll do like a whole 7 or a whole 9. I just do it to get right back into okay, I'm in control again. And then I, maybe I did that a couple of times. I started over a couple of times to figure out what it was that was triggering all the cravings, and it ended up being artificial sweeteners in my coffee, or any kind of sweetener in my coffee. Any kind of sweetener early in the day like derails me for the whole day. And I love that knowledge because now I'm on black coffee. Again, thank you, TJ, for sending me that AeroPress. Um and it's just made a huge difference for my cravings. But I'm telling you, I'm your girl. I'm right there with you with the nut butters. It is my downfall. Sometime around this time, middle of the day, I carry an apple with me everywhere I go so that I just have, something in case I'm in a bind. But it tastes really good with one of those packets of almond butter, and then another packet of almond butter, and then another packet
Yeah.
of almond butter.
Well, they're
And
only 200 calories a packet,
they
so
are
there's
200 calories a packet. And after two, and I always eat two in the afternoon, I'm like, geez, that's more than a meal for lunch. Just the dang hold me over thing. And we've made the mistake of bringing Sam's Club or Costco size nuts things into the house.
oh yeah,
We've replaced the crap with, the things they tell you don't overdo it with this. Oh, we'll buy that in
right.
huge quantities. So I feel in control of, I mean, I'm not out of control, but I'm about 5 pounds over. I'm right where I am when I'm really, really not happy because things are fitting tight again. I know it's kind of going to be hard to just, when it's the middle of the bathing suit time. Jeez, I don't know. I'm I'm doing okay. I've just been celebrating a little too much lately. Like my whole thing between whole 30s are, hey, I can have fajitas, I can have a margarita because I'm not having that sweetener. So the next day it's true. I can get right back to eating clean and it doesn't derail me anymore. But I'm having too many of those. Hey, I can have this. Hey, I can have that. So
Right.
I've just had too many life into living days over the last 2 weeks. 3 weeks. And so I'm trying, and I have not worked out. The Masters has been my excuse for everything in my life. I'm not putting out podcasts. I'm not, you know, exercising at all. It's been about 4 to 6. Well, the Tough Mudder in Chicago was the last time I got out and did anything really. I walked with Caroline once or twice, but she went to Europe. And somebody the other day asked me about what was going on in the news, and I had no idea because for a year and a half, I've been on this high horse about I don't watch the news. I'm too busy like to know what's going on. I used to think people like that were twits. How can you not watch the news? But it's been I chose podcasts over news to try to get healthy, and now I need to get back into like the adult world and get
You know what though?
back
I don't know,
into
and I
the
don't want to go
gym.
there necessarily.
Yeah, yeah,
Other than to say, I've looked at, and I look at news, whether even sports, which I'm a junkie as well. But I've looked at. I don't know that I can change any of those things.
I
So I
know
don't want
it's
to be
so
an idiot.
depressing.
I don't want to be an idiot or anything. But I find so much of what's going on depressing, whether it be what's going on with the Middle East or whether it's the dead or politics. I just don't even have and I don't know that I can change it as much as I have a real strong opinion about a lot of things. And so I've unplugged. I'm in
That's what I
denial.
did. That's
It's
what
not.
I did too. Totally in
I
denial.
mean, I can do what I can do at the polls, and I can in my immediate circle of influence when I talk to people. I don't do a lot of not a whole lot of political stuff on Facebook. I don't do any of that I just don't know that it does. I just feel like people are um, their opinions are not going to be swayed by a Facebook post that
I
I put
know
out
it's
there.
awful.
So
Facebook. Ugh.
I don't do anything. I just kind of whatever, and Shelly saw something on Facebook. I think it was late last week or early this week that said between the
Confederate
Confederate flag
flags.
thing and the Supreme Court ruling that it looked like the Confederacy was at war with a bag of
Yeah,
Skittles.
I had that post on my wall.
And it was because everybody was a rainbow this or a
I
Confederate
know.
flag that, and I just
I'm a rainbow right now on Facebook.
I saw your Facebook post. But anyway, so the news, all that stuff, I feel like I'm unplugged as well, and I don't even watch sports anymore. Of course, this time of year is the sports doldrums, but
It's just
for
that
those of us who
the
are
media makes everything, sensationalizes everything to a
right,
degree that it's even worse than it is. That's why I might go back, I might ease back into it, but because I want to be informed. And I think I might start watching Jon Stewart again on Comedy Central because that's the
oh, that's
college
a good way to get
that's the college kids way to get your news, the 20-something way to get your news. And
right.
it's like a dipstick of what's going on, and but it's not just so depressing. It's at least with an edge of humor to it. It's not,
Right.
I don't know, I kind of trust him more than some of our media outlets.
I don't know. I just have decided to. I kind of get peripheral. Like Shelly will have the news on. I'll
Yeah,
listen
yeah,
to it. I
that's
might
your
have it on in
smart
my
friend.
car, but I'm not gonna sit down there and get all fired up over something. When I know, by the way, that no matter what channel you're on and where your bias lies, you have to know that channel is competing for advertising dollars, and so whatever you're watching is targeted at a demographic that they are feeding the beast. So
Right, right.
if you're on Fox News, there's a reason that all their commercials are about gold and this and that, because they're feeding that super conservative.
Sure.
Whether I relate to it or not is irrelevant. You just have to. And then if you flip over to MSNBC and everything's, you get this other different view of the world, and you start to realize that they're really just packaged for a specific audience,
Right.
that they're competing for their dollars, of the advertising people. So there's no objective news. It's
No,
all
I know.
targeted at whoever the audience is. So anyway, although there's been some good news, I wish I could remember specifically, but I do know that since the last time we've talked, there's been kind of more validation of the low carb, high fat, not being bad for you.
Oh yeah, that's out there.
Even in mainstream stuff, not quite to the extent that most of us would think it needs to be.
So
But
it's so interesting. That's why I love the Whole30, because it's not really low carb. You can have potatoes, you can have sweet potatoes, you can have it's definitely not ultra low carb because of all the vegetables that they recommend.
right,
It's just getting, and I had somebody the other day too say, "Oh, look at that guy. He went with you over to paleo, and everything on his Facebook page is about bacon now because he's so paleo." When really, I know that guy. He's not paleo. I'm not paleo. And he just did a Whole30. So he's trying to get away from processed foods. So he's posting a lot of recipes, and most of them, he likes bacon. So a lot of them have bacon.
right.
But
Well,
it's interesting. Yeah.
did you get Abel James's new book, by the way?
No, should I?
Yeah, I read it. It's good.
Is it?
The Wild Diet. The Wild Diet. I mean, it's.
Oh, that's not a
It's,
new book. That book's been out for a long time.
no, I pre-ordered it. It didn't show up till like March or April.
But it was.
You may have got it because you're on some VIP list of celebrities.
Right. He sent it to me a long time. No, I have it. I had the Wild Diet last year when he came on the show, right after he came on the show, but it was an ebook. It was only available as an ebook.
This is the hard copy. I'm trying to find it. Hold on.
It was golden, man. Abel knows. I mean, Abel's awesome.
No, I sent you my gift. When I bought all the cookbook stuff, and then I got a free gift of it. Give it to a friend.
Right. And
is
I
that the
your
one you're
friend.
talking about?
No, I'm talking about the Wild Diet. It's called The Wild Diet.
Yeah, it is, and it's really, and it reads. But here's what's interesting. I didn't know it when I pre-ordered it before it was even out, and I didn't realize that it was a cookbook. It's a narrative. No. It's a narrative cookbook.
I don't have that.
I'm serious. I mean, it's very, very cool because it tells. it tells the story kind of like a, Angriest Trainer, very from a narrative kind of a, you know, perspective, but then it's got recipes throughout the book based on, so it's not just a recipe book or a cookbook, but it's clearly way more than a than just kind of like another paleo book. And by the way, I would argue that he's more, the more I read his stuff, even though he rarely uses the term, I believe it or not, I think he's kind of I think he's a carb backloader.
Ha!
I really do believe that, just based on, because he does talk a lot about eating carbs after, basically he's an intermittent fasting, eat your carbs in late in the day kind of guy.
He was on our show like a year and a half ago, and he talked about all of that. He talked about how every once in a while for body composition, he might fast for about 24 hours or something like that. And we got into a discussion about cooked or raw vegetables, and he was like, just eat vegetables, really. I mean, stop obsessing about cooked or, people just don't eat enough vegetables. And I don't know. I'm looking at his website now. How is the wild diet different than paleo? Yeah, you could just go to fatburningman.com. There's a ton of information there. Abel's so awesome. Yeah, here's his book, The Wild Diet. This is not what I have. What I have was like a plan that you ordered from his website, and it took you through
Right.
a certain number of days and how you ate and what you should do to just get back on track, kind of thing. And that was awesome too.
Yeah,
But
this book is really good, and I really don't think, because I know I pre-ordered it, and I think it showed up in April. I want to
so
say
so
April
so
or
what's
May,
why aren't you wild dieting it now then?
because it really wasn't. It wasn't like it was new news to me. It was kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. I mean, it kind of sounded like it. It was. It's paleo light is what I would say. It's not a Rob Wolf paleo, but it's
Yeah.
a more of a, it's just a clean, it's a Whole 30 kind of approach to life. I think he's really got a kind of a good, uh, kind of a neutral view of, he's not as militant as some of the others. But I
No,
will tell
no.
you, I mean,
Yeah.
he's things like, I don't know if you've ever done, like I don't know that I was ever, organ meats every, weekly,
No,
and
yeah, I know.
tail to snout, or whatever they call it, hoof to, what I'm talking about. They eat every, I'm not,
No.
I still typically stick with the primary cuts of meat that you can find in the grocery store. um
Modern cavemen.
and yeah, I mean, um and he is much more likely to go down the organ meat, things like that, uh, but it's a good book, so
He's
you should get
awesome
it
to follow.
if you
He's
haven't
just
already.
awesome. He's great to follow. So yeah, I know I'm not gonna have a ton of free time, but I am gonna try to get back to following at least a couple of people. Abel's one of them. I'd love to follow Roger and the Caveman Doctor, but they're not putting shows out anymore. And you
They're
know,
done, I
I
think.
know. I hate that. I don't know that they
Roger,
are.
they moved
I know.
they
Right?
moved
Yeah,
they moved
Roger.
their offices.
Oh, you mean Relentless Fitness
Well, I
move?
mean, I know that they moved yeah. Mhm. They moved their gym. I saw the grand opening, and I thought I might be in Philly for when it happened, and I was going to try to go, and I responded kind of tentatively to the invite, and
Nice. You got
as it
invited.
turns out, I wasn't there, and now I would be embarrassed to show up since I'm off wagon. I mean, I
Shut up.
may have seen him when I met him. When I met him there and went and saw him, I might have been close to my peak of where I was mentally and physically. So he was probably all fired up that he made this impact, over the World Wide Web kind of, and now I'm I'm a backslid student.
That's totally fine. That's real life, Jack. Nobody's 100% all year long. It's a roller coaster, it's a journey, it's up and down. And I mean, I'm kind of more down than up right now, but I plan on changing that. One thing that changes it for me always is if I make myself exercise, and it's not like the exercise. I don't do anything so major that, oh, I'm going to start getting so toned and buff. Or I know cardio doesn't work. So it's not like I'm going to run enough to out exercise bad food choices. It's that it makes you feel good. Those walks that you used to do, if you make yourself go do them, you don't want to do them, you don't feel like doing them, but you never regret doing them. And it kind of spurs on, okay, I'm getting back into it. I feel better. I feel good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you need to get a challenge under your belt. And
But you know what's interesting is that the walks are part of what's affected the walk thing a little bit has been boredom. In other words, it's just like I have the same. I'm not really in a neighborhood. I'm not in a neighborhood in the sense where I can have a destination. In other words, I can't like walk to Starbucks or walk to some place and get a cup of coffee. I mean, I'm a little bit, but I am in a neighborhood, so I end up kind of walking a route, for lack of a better word, within the neighborhood, and it's the same route, and I'm dodging cars or cars are dodging me, and it's not. I don't have anybody that I walk. I don't have Shelly's not walking with me because her knee's still jacked up, and so it's one of those things where I was walking when we first started this whole. I was walking, an hour and
I was
15
gonna
minutes
say,
a
you are
day straight.
so full of excuses right now. I can't even
I
understand you.
know,
I can't. I just don't. I'm not comprehending you because you used to walk and you were a
an
crazy
hour a day.
walker and you listened to the podcasts while you were walking. So getting back out there, dodging traffic or not, you're used to that. That's what you did. And you would kill two birds with one stone. You would
I
get
know.
out there, you would listen, you would get motivated. Vinny's still doing his shows, Abel's still doing his shows. I know. So it's just a bunch of excuses. I'm right there with you.
You're right.
I'm right there with you. I have all the excuses in the world too. But I'm telling you, we have to change this. We have to change this.
Well, you know what? It was amazing. I had I was feeling a little sorry for myself during the Chicago Tough Mudder because all you guys were posting all your stuff, and there was just no way in the world. And I'm usually kind of like I'd have been, and to miss that and Las Vegas, I can't do either. Unchangeable events, and it's like the world is passing me by.
Oh, we left Jack at home. Darn it, Jack. What's going on in
So I'm
October
gonna
that you can't? It's your company thing, right?
Yeah,
October.
I have a big meeting and it's that weekend and I just can't. I mean, it's 700 people in the whole
Yeah,
deal, so I just can't. I can't do it.
yeah.
And so then I had always said, well, I need to find another one that I'm going to do, and now that's not likely to happen. So who knows? We'll see.
Well, it doesn't have to be Tough Mudder. I mean, there's all that flesh-eating bacteria that
Ooh,
everybody's sending me the exact same link about this woman in Dallas that went blind and the flesh-eating bacteria that is usually in these mud runs and blah blah blah. And I know it. I'm not worried about it. Probably should be, but I'm not because I don't know. I guess because I live by the coast in a warm climate area, and that flesh eating bacteria has always been like it's always every year some story about it. And in the lakes too, I can't believe you don't hear about it more, or bacteria that are in the lakes in the very hot months. And it's really any untreated water. You shouldn't go
right.
into untreated water if you have open wounds, and the woman scratched her eye during the run, and or maybe it was before, I don't know, but she had a cut, abrasions in her eye, and that's where the bacteria set in. And or if you have a compromised immune system, you shouldn't, because you're going to fall to these. So we see fishermen all the time who are like, they had cuts or whatever, and they were out there fishing, and that flesh-eating bacteria gets set in. And I know it sounds horrible, flesh-eating bacteria. And I'm not, minimizing the fact that the woman went blind in one eye. She did. But if you read her story, it had a lot to do with the fact that she didn't have insurance. So she went untreated for quite a while. And but then by the time she got treated, she'd let it go. So, it's nothing new to where I live. You need, like my
Right.
optometrist told me, you need to throw away your contacts right after the run because there's debris and there's bacteria and stuff. You don't want those. we're not, we have a big policy about not drinking the mud. That's something we try not to do. And
Trying to do that's always admirable.
I'm not going to say we don't. It's an attempt. But, you know, Hammer Jammer was saying, bring it on. I need more bacteria for my butt guy. I mean, my butt guy. I can't believe I said that. Gut biome. I've got to edit that out.
Oh, you shouldn't.
Oh my God. All right. Anyway.
So TJ's on. He's on to the next thing already. So he's
TJ.
on to. Isn't that who you said just now?
No, I said Hammer Jammer, John
Hammer
Ellis.
Jammer. Okay, John.
Yes.
Okay.
No. TJ's all busy over on the Firearms Insider and different. I see TJ all the time out on the social pages. But John Ellis Sr., he came to Paleo FX. That's something you should have gone to, JT, next year for sure. You have to at least come down for Saturday. It's so much.
I'll try. I'm just, you know me. I'm just, I've told you what my view is of that. I just am not.
We did
I would
not
love to
chase
go.
celebrities this time. We didn't.
Okay.
We were in very. Caroline's not going to do that. She's not going to lower herself.
I can hang back with her because I am not. I'm not. Fanboy.
Right. You're above all of that. I understand.
No, I just don't like it. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed by it. Now, if they want to, don't get me wrong. If I'm one of those people that would take a picture, like with someone in the background, like a selfie, and then point. But I would never go to that person and say, "Let's take a picture," because I don't want to be that guy that interrupts them or whatever. I'm not beyond saying, "Look, there's." It was funny because right before, I think it was, I can't remember when it was. It might have been Father's Day weekend. Anyway, in our part of the world, Carol, this is a big deal. So I was at a restaurant and Chuck Norris was at the table next to me.
It is a big deal.
And of course, in Texas, that's a big deal. So
big deal.
And everybody's like, "That's Chuck Norris," and this is a big family and this and that, and all the kids are trying to get pictures taken, and I don't even turn around and look. I won't turn around and look. Because I'm not too cool. I just don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that stalker guy.
He's a very, very nice man. He's very, very, very nice.
I've heard that, and he seems nice. And so, this one of my daughter's friends was sitting across from me, and she said, "I'm going to pretend I'm taking a picture of you, but then I'm going to move the camera over."
Oh my God.
And zoom in on, and he so knew it. He looked up and looked dead in the camera.
Funny. That must be fun to be Chuck Norris. My girlfriend Elaine, for the whole time that we were roommates in Dallas for a couple of years, she was his personal masseuse and his wife. And so she would come to their house and she had a table and, she did.
His wife?
No, that's right. That sounded like that. No, he and his wife wanted a personal masseuse and they hired Elaine and they all became friends and he came to their, I don't know if they were married initially, but once they got married, she came to their wedding and the wedding. And so I heard Chuck Norris stories all the time because she was at their house more than once a week, and super, super nice guy. Very nice from what I understand.
Yeah, I think he is. And he's fit. He's very fit too for his age.
He's a little fit.
Yeah. He's fit. So anyway,
we all need to get what is he? The total gym? He's the total gym.
Yeah.
Guy. We all just
he's my brush with greatness in the last
over your left shoulder.
Who needs Paleo FX when I get Chuck Norris at a restaurant?
That's not why you go to Paleo FX. It's a conference. Like where I am right now, I'm in a conference and I'm learning a ton and we're sharing and learning. And that's what it's
I wouldn't have known that by the first photo journal of Paleo FX that you and
that's all I did. That's all I did. I was like, they're saying something. I don't know what. Can you get him over here for a picture? I had followed all these people for so long that it was really fun to get. I'm sorry. I'm not above it. Plus, I was there for the people, Jack. I had many female listeners telling me, but don't forget to get a picture with Ben Greenfield.
So how's Caroline? How's Caroline doing?
She's pretty awesome. Thanks for asking. She's on a flight right now back from the UK. She's been there for 3 weeks. So I'm going a little crazy because she keeps me very sane.
She
walking.
seems like a rational person to me.
She
Not that
is.
you're
She's
not, of
normal.
course.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jack, for clarifying. I know you mean that. I'm not. She is. She's crazy in her own way. You don't get to see it, but I get to see it. It makes me feel better about my crazy.
Oh,
And
okay.
no, we are. We're both obsessed, but she's not. She's like you. She's not going to stoop to that level and go chase celebrities and all that crap. So, yeah, she's been in the UK with her family and friends for 3 weeks, and I've been following her on Facebook and just so jealous of her friends and family because I miss her. And David Whitlock, who of Whitlock Fitness, he's in the UK
Yeah.
also. He is starting on July 1st. And he copied me and Caroline on some of this because she follows him now also. He's doing 1,000 kettlebell swings per day. So 10,000 swings in 10 days. And he does this every year and he gets people to join him. I'm going to do it to a very modified degree. I am going to purchase a kettlebell and I'm going to do 100 swings a day. Just very different. Hey, 100 swings in a kettlebell is a lot.
So how do you determine? How do you determine? Because I've actually been thinking about getting a kettlebell, believe it or not, and I was thinking, how do I determine which weight to get?
Oh, well, I don't know. I was just gonna go in academy and like pick them up and
There's like 10. There's like all different sizes, though, right? You buy
oh,
sets of kettlebells, don't you?
he
Typically,
that he's going anywhere from 24 to 36 kilograms. That's his thing, and I don't
right?
know. You know what? Let's link to somebody who knows. We'll find somebody and put a link because there is. You're supposed to get a particular size and stuff, and I'm not even going to pretend to know. I don't know. Um,
Hmm.
hmm. But I can tell you what, if I didn't have a kettlebell, I'd get my 10-pound hand weight and do it with that until I got my kettlebell. Like I'm not going to let that stop me, Jack. We just need to get started. Just do it.
So you're so here's the deal. So you could take all the effort that you've put into your masters and now just redirect to working out now.
And then my children who've been sacrificing all this time and not having enough mommy time, I'm supposed to tell them, sorry, mom's got to get
They're
lean.
used to, they're used to it by now, aren't
I
they?
know. They grow anyway, right? They grow.
Yeah.
Right?
Look, I mean, you have less to do with how they turn out than you think anyway, trust me.
Oh my God. I don't think that's true.
No, I think what's funny is that I really do think having my youngest now is 17, and I think it's just amazing at all of my girls are awesome, but what's crazy is I would say, well, who they are from a personality standpoint is largely been determined. I mean, hopefully we had some influence
Of
because
course
they're
you
awesome.
did.
But I would tell you, they were some of their personalities have not changed since they were 2,
Of
and
course.
they were uninfluenced, and other things they pick up.
Uninfluenced.
Other things they picked up from other people and other influences in their life, and all you can do is try to keep the guardrails up. That's what we did.
Yes. Just try to keep them guided in a general direction. I have 3 sisters and we're so different. And just like you said, my younger sister, she's the same as she was when we were kids. Me and my middle sister were pretty much the same. I mean, really, my older sister has a really strong personality and she's just a leader and she's always been like that. And my oldest sister, super sweet. And I mean, nobody's changed much, but because I don't know, your personality is your personality, but definitely our choices and our moral compass and things like that.
Sure.
So
We have some influence. I was being a smart aleck, but it is amazing that that part of that is a good thing too, because we didn't screw them up either. So they turned out really good and are bright and and almost on their own. The
Oh
oldest
my
certainly is with
gosh,
the
y'all are
grandbaby and all that.
empty nesters.
Yep.
That's amazing.
So then what's my excuse for not working out then?
You don't have one, Jack. You don't have one. This is what I need. I just did a training yesterday. I presented at this conference and people loved the ideas that our district's doing that we shared. And the way I closed it was, okay, so I need you to turn to a partner and tell that person what your first 2 moves, really it's supposed to be your first 3 moves, but we were out of time. So your first 2 moves, you can't leave here without making a plan, because otherwise it's just a good training. You heard some ideas and you kind of forget about it. But if you make a plan for your first 2 things you're going to do when you get back, it's more likely that you'll take action. So that's
Right.
what I'm asking you, Jack. That's what I'm asking right now.
What's my first 2 moves?
3. What are your first 3
What's
moves?
my first 3 moves?
Right.
I think I'm going to do a whole 30. I just don't know when I'm going to start. It's either going to be the first, or it's going to be the 5th or 6th,
Okay.
whatever that.
So we can
Whatever
hold
that.
you
But it's
to
one of those.
Monday is
Yeah,
the
you can hold it to that.
Monday
Yeah,
is
I'll probably start the 6th, but I don't know what I'm feeling. And then I need to, I need to get back on the wagon with my. I'm trying to think of the right word here, but my what's it called? My reinforcement, or my network of people that is really my listening to podcasts. I need to
yes.
do that again in balance. So that's because I don't really get that anywhere else, and so I need to do that. I mean, for those of you who subscribe to podcasts, you know what happens when you stop listening. You get exclamation points that say, we've stopped downloading because you're
Right.
not listening to these, and I've
Right.
got stacks and stacks of exclamation points all over my phone, because I'm just not in that. So I need to get back kind of on that.
That's just insult to injury. Your phone's telling you you're a lazy person and you gotta get your crap together. It's like a reminder every time you look at your phone. I know exactly that feeling. It makes you feel like you're way off.
And here's what's interesting. I can't remember. Do you remember when you used to give me a hard time because I had been on MyFitnessPal? I can't, like, a zillion days in a row.
Yes, you
You
had a
remember?
great streak. Yes.
And I don't think I'm checking right. This is literally, I'm logging on right. This is the first time I've been on, and I can't even tell you when. So I'm gonna
Oh
look
my
and see
goodness.
if it
Those,
tells me. How can I tell? How
those
can I
are
tell the last time I checked in?
I can look under my friends and it will show you. And when it shows you, it will tell me how many days it's been since you logged in. So I'm going to look at that. And that's when I usually send some people an email going, hey, what's going on? But I logged into my Fitness Pal today also. And I went into the community. And it's like everybody was all gangbusters up until like 2 weeks ago. And I don't know if everybody's on summer vacation or what, but there was only me and Jennifer are the only people that had commented anything this week. So I was like, where's everybody?
How about if would you believe me? Would you believe me if I told you? Now keep in mind there was a whole 30. I think, didn't we start the whole 30 in March?
I don't know. You
And
did.
anyway, the last time I entered my weight in MyFitnessPal was February 26th.
Jack, it's end of June. There it is.
I know. Can you believe it?
Oh God, you just logged in. I'm so dumb. It says last login today.
February 26th.
Yeah, that's about right, I bet. That's 4 months ago, Jack.
Yeah, because I had a let's see if I had a yeah, I had a whole 30 in there, which means I didn't weigh. So I'm going to give myself the benefit of the doubt and say the end of March.
I'm gonna call some people out here. This is so cool. I've sorted by last login, so I can go to the oldest people in here. Zeke Stout, 13 months ago. Larry Sutton, if you're listening, 13 months ago. Joanne Schmidt, 13 months ago. I don't know if I have permission to say these people's names. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Jay, Gear Dad, 11 months ago. Come on, man. And he always sends me hey, that was a great podcast, but you're not on my Fitness Pal. We need you back over there. Let's see. Lil Chantilly from We Like Shooting, 6 months ago. Please give her a hard time. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of people. I'm no better. It was more than a month ago, and then I just decided now I'm on my high horse because I checked in today.
So the reason I bring that up. The reason I bring that up is that's one of my 3 steps. So I've got
Okay, I'm sorry.
Here's my 3 steps. My
You got it.
whole 30 either on the 1st or on the 6th. Um, Start listening to my network of reinforcements on podcasts and fitness related stuff. And three is start tracking. I don't know that I'll do food yet. Maybe I should. It's been a long time since I've done food, but just even putting my weight in every day was what I was pretty disciplined about on. But I ought to start doing uh, my fitness pal again and see what happens.
So my
Those are
fit,
three.
you're gonna start walking again. Was that one of them?
I can do. I've already started doing
Well, the
that. So
walking is with the podcast because that's how you're gonna get your podcasts in, right?
right, I'll tell you, my Fitbit stuff is actually in pretty good shape. Let me look
Awesome.
what it says. You can on and see what I'm doing, but like even um, dashboard. So I'm averaging 11,000 steps a day.
Dang, Jack, nothing is wrong. Why are
And
you
by the way,
beating yourself up?
yesterday, the day before yesterday, I got my Nile badge, which means I have walked, since I got a Fitbit, I have walked 4,132 lifetime miles, the length of the Nile. So I got my
Oh
badge, my
my
Nile badge.
God. That's crazy.
That's
That's
crazy.
crazy. Great. See, your head is not in it, but you're doing 90% of what you're supposed to be doing. It's crazy. All
Yeah,
you're doing is
it is
eating too
crazy.
much nut butter.
I
That's about
wish.
it. That's about
And not,
it.
and not, you know, what's funny is it may be the other thing that I would tell you is the biggest difference has been I really haven't been as disciplined about consistently walking. And maybe, just maybe, because I used to always say that 85% of my, weight loss was diet. And maybe more of it had to do with walking than I thought. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't buy that it's nothing. I think the walking helps everything move better. I think it has something to do, even if you don't burn a certain number of calories that you think or whatever, or it's not enough. I think it helps your overall metabolism. I think it just does. I don't know. I think everybody, and I know psychologically it has something to do. I mean, it helps me in how I eat. But anyway, I like your moves. I like your moves. So the podcasting, the I'm forgetting your moves already. The podcasting, you're going to do a whole 30. And what's the third thing?
Yeah, I can't believe I committed to that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that starts on Monday or sooner, the 6th or sooner.
podcasting. It was podcasting.
My Fitness
It was
Pal.
podcasting, My Fitness Pal, and the Whole 30.
Okay, awesome.
So
Okay, so
and if you want a podcast to check, see, that's the other thing we could do. If you wanted, since you're not doing this anymore, since you're not doing your masters anymore, and you don't have an excuse for not podcasting, and this was kind of on a whim because you just called me up and said to you,
not
or
on a
texted me and
whim.
said,
I've been thinking
no, but I
about you,
mean,
Jack. Not on a
no,
whim.
but you could say, but this morning it was like, let's, do you have time for a podcast? So we pulled this one out.
Yeah.
So here's the deal: if we now that you don't have any excuses, then maybe we do this more regularly again. That would be your motivation, and you could check in on how whether or not I'm keeping my
Oh my
plan
God. Do you mean like chronicle our journeys?
from fat to fit in lifestyle
we talked about,
and health,
we
fitness,
talked
and
about
other elements
we
of
talked about
other.
child rearing today, and we talked about news and media and keeping a healthy mindset about that. We're all about other areas of life. We're all
Other areas of life. Yeah.
that we're so obsessed with getting fat. There's that. Fatter. Okay, so yeah. Okay.
We should just change the name from fit to fat.
No, I
I'll take
know, I
over.
know. Or what did Larry Sutton send in? Fat ass to badass? Wasn't that what he
Yeah.
wanted us to change it to?
You could
Okay.
just. I'm looking at the logo. I'm thinking you could just reverse it. The person starts off really
He's
lean,
gonna
and
turn
then the
around and
end
walk the other way.
ends up with the
Put
big diet.
that gun down and pick up the big old frosty.
Put the gun down and pick up a big gulp.
Right, right. No, I'm getting a
Speaking
rifle.
of,
Okay, my Carol gets a
you
gun.
are.
Yeah, my Carol gets a gun is moving from a pistol for my home, which we're still getting, but what we're chronicling, I think, is going to be more of a hunting because I really want to go hunting this fall. So I want to get more proficient. I want a rifle, and I want to source my own protein to a degree. I want to kill a few things and get it processed or process it
So
myself.
you okay with that? Do you think you could pull the trigger with an animal on the other end?
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry.
So you know
I'm
what? I hate
sorry.
to
I'm not
disappoint
that
you,
kind
but
of girl. I mean,
so I here's what's disappointing. I was thinking about this to myself because I plan on doing some hunting this year too, and up
let's
until this
go.
point, I haven't been hunting in many years. I'm still a shooter, but I don't hunt as much as I used to. Nothing against it, by the way. I just haven't had a place to go or any of those kinds of things. So this year I've had some invites from some people that have said, hey, can you go this or that? And I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the way that they, when you hunt deer and thing in Texas, they will put up a feeder,
Yeah,
like a feeder, and they
yeah.
fill it full of corn. And so I found myself thinking, even our wild game is grain fed.
I know.
You can't even
Dang
get
it.
grass fed. You can't
Dang
even get
it.
grass
Why'd
fed
you have to
deer.
bring that up? Because it's so true. We do throw out oats, and we have like areas, my parents'
Yeah.
property where they hunt, that he's cleared, and we throw out a ton of oats, and that grows, and they come there to graze, and that's right in the site,
Right.
from the stands, the deer stands. But we also have a corn feeder there too. Dang it. Um,
But I would still say the vast majority of their nutrition is coming from grass and natural. I mean, the corn is just a little something. I don't think that's their primary. It's not like they're in a
no,
feed trough like
no, we
cattle.
don't have them in a barn. Yeah, growing them from babies. Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't be
So,
as sporting. So anyway, there's a couple other announcements real quick. So my first three things is I am going to try to get more regular with podcasts. I'm not going to commit to a weekly podcast, but we can at least do every other week, Jack. Maybe we'll
okay.
try to do every other week and as much as more as possible.
Okay.
And we also have the challenge. There's a challenge going on in my Fitness Pal right now. Again, we're not calling it 10,000 kettlebell swings. I'm calling it 1,000 something. So if you want to do push-ups, or if you want to do squats, or you want to do whatever, I know people complain about these challenges because it's 10 days in a row or 30 days in a row, and you're not giving your body a rest. It's not about that. For me, I am trying to get back into a regular feeling good about moving and doing some resistance training, and it will do that for me. If I make myself participate in something like this, I'll be changed. I'm hoping. So there's that. So come to the MyFitnessPal. The links are in the show notes for that. We have Las Vegas Tough Mudder coming up. Cover your ears, Jack. We have Las Vegas Tough Mudder coming up on October 17th. We already have a team together. Don't worry about the flesh-eating bacteria. Just don't be so stingy with your flesh. They got to eat too. Bacteria's got to eat. So
Ouch.
just don't come if you have open wounds, and I mean, we don't really want you there with your open wounds anyway, or compromised immune system. And we accept no responsibility for any of these injuries, though, so there's a disclaimer for that. And we also have the Chicago Tough Mudder a year from now that everybody needs to be thinking about, because the network host did it a couple months ago. They loved it. Everybody, Jake Challen and Mike from the Reloading podcast, and these guys want to do it again, but we want a team this time. And that is,
Do you have a date for that
they haven't
or
posted the
not?
date. They have not. Try not to have any more
Okay.
grandbabies. And then so that you can come with us in the spring. And so that's going to be a blast. Start thinking about.
For the record, I don't have a whole lot to do with that.
Okay. Well, you don't have the influence. You're right. So we've got that. Oh, if you're shopping on Amazon, I do want to plug, please, to click through our affiliate link. Come to Fat2FitHQ.com, because it doesn't cost you anything, and it helps the show in a tiny way, but it adds up. So please consider shopping on Amazon through our affiliate link. And yeah, that's
Like if you were to buy the Wild Diet, you would go through Amazon and buy the book, and
exactly. Through our
you would
link. And you'd help the
you'd
show.
be helping the show.
You'd
There you
get
go.
Jake Challen off my butt. That would be helpful, because we need to start contributing in some way. So yeah, please leave us a review in iTunes, or Stitcher, and we really appreciate your reviews. Hammer Jammer just left one recently. I know it was him talking about a great show with Ben Greenfield. We were going to recap the show, so thank you, Hammer. Thank you so much, because it really does help us be more visible in iTunes. But hey, JT, we did not talk about Ben Greenfield. Did you ever listen to the final show when I got it edited?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't. I need to go back. We'll save that for another day if you want to.
Okay.
I just remember we actually did do a show, but we didn't record it or something, and then we were going to come back and do it, and then you were going to edit his, and anyway, we never did. I never did. So we can do it. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
I know, and I really appreciate you recording that show with me. If you do go listen to the Ben Greenfield episode 123, you will hear me publicly apologize to you, because we did record it, and oh God, everything was so heavy with the master's certification, my job and everything, and I could not get my act together, and I deleted that show by accident. And so, yeah, we'll go listen to it again and recap what we thought about everything Ben said. I just linked to his Train to Hunt competition he did recently. It's like a meat pack carrying with bow hunting, and it's just very cool. Kevin, one of our listeners, does stuff like that but with firearms. And so anyway, there's all kinds of cool stuff like that going on. But yes, today go to fat2fithq.com/125. And when the show's audio posts, you will find the show notes there and links on how to get connected with us. And so, yeah, that's about it. JT, thank you so much. And you're getting me back on track, because I'm going to try to stop eating so many nuts and nut butters. That's one. I'm going to try to record more shows, and I'm absolutely going to get out for some regular exercise. Definitely.
There you go.
That should help.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm going to have not as many celebrations with wine and bread and stuff too.
Yeah, that's tough. 4th of July is tough.
No, I'm going to do fine on the 4th. I'm good with that. All right. So we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Jack. Say hi to Shelly, and y'all have a great one. Okay. Chat soon. Bye.
Bye.